Good day, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net in frigid Great White North of Toronto, Canada. Today is February 1st. We're going to talk about trading on the beach, trading in the cloud, beach life. All right. So yesterday, I just wanted to put this out there. This is going to sound like an ad. Maybe it is, but I do like this platform a lot. This is a trading platform, automated trading platform, algorithmic trading platform, systematic, whatever you want to call it. I'm talking about MotiveWave. Um, Now, I don't like getting technical in this type of podcast. There's lots of places to go if you want to get all technical, nitty gritty, and get in on your C++ or whatever else. But I'm going to try to keep it light on terms of lifestyle and trading and where things are going here in 2023 and how MotiveWave can really help you out. So first of all, a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but a few people have been opting in. Thank you very much. And I'm seeing it's coming in from this cast. I'm just getting tired. I just find YouTube's now a waste complete of time to post on YouTube just due to too many parameters you got to work with. And I'm also now kind of looking at social media like Facebook and Instagram the same way, where I can just post something, not be going through a mortgage application just to post a video like on YouTube with with a podcast and you just put it up and that's it. Anyways, um, let's talk about platforms. All right, so I've been using Motorway for about we're now going into the third, maybe fourth year now with it. It's an excellent platform. It's got everything you want in it. Very advanced for the money. It's one of the only platforms that I know that will run on all the major operating systems, be it Mac, Windows, even Linux. Um, for that, also they enable you to trade crypto as well. All the major US-based exchanges like Coinbase, and namely Kraken, which is the exchange and the only exchange I like and would recommend out there. Again, that's Kraken, not Coinbase. Uh, I also think that Binance has become more of like a criminal crime syndicate. Uh, Ask me one day and I'll tell you why. And Wave covers a lot. It covers like it's a beast. It's a beast of a platform. And they have to maintain a lot of connections. And I've read and posted some honest reviews over the last a year, 2 years. And some of the people are complaining about where MotiveWave's at, and it's gone downhill with the features and the support. There's a reason for that. And I can't really say if I'm 100% on the history of it, but I'll give you my opinion on where they're coming from. So they're a small outfit. They've been local to me, but I think majority of them have now moved out to BC and Alberta in Western Canada. And they're still developing a top-notch platform, trading platform. It's one of the only platforms that where if you're a developer and want to learn about automated trading, where you can get what they call studies, same thing as an indicator if you use something like a MetaTrader or whatnot. And you get source code with that. Over 300 of those studies and some sample strategies as well in Java source code to really learn about the automation. And the good thing about it is all the heavy lifting's done for you. The connections, the data to the brokers, the exchanges, is all done for you. So you only have to focus really only on the actual strategy development, which is really powerful. And there's a lot of benefit with that. Now, part of the reviews have been not so kind because of the quote, unquote support or lack of support. I think it's because, and I'm probably a guy on this one, is that they've been working very hard on their mobile apps, both for uh, Mac, or sorry, the mobile apps for both iOS and from Apple and the Google Android. The thing is with that, that's a huge development, and they're building it themselves, and it's all from scratch. So, considering this will probably be the most advanced trading platform out there. I've seen some of the preview webinars, and they're all posted on their YouTube channel. Really rock solid app in the way it's going to go. I just saw the one thing yesterday. They should have them in the app stores in the next few weeks for downloading. It's a really, really big effort, and I got to commend them for doing it because I've looked at the competitor solutions, and they're not, from what I'm understanding, from what I'm seeing, they're not native like what MotiveWave has done. And this is going to be putting them probably light years ahead of everybody else. Okay. And so if you're into automated trading, this is probably going to work really, really well for you. What they're doing, from what I understand, they're trying to mimic what they have in the desktop version of MotiveWave. They're also going to allow you to run strategies within the mobile app of MotiveWave, meaning you'll have access to a new SDK, a software development kit to do strategies within the mobile app. To me, I think this is the first of any mobile app out there. I'm not sure what programming language they'll support. That same programming language will most likely, from what I'm understanding, will be uh, also mimicked in the desktop version. So basically, what we're saying here is that you have a trading idea, trading strategy. You'll be able to develop it for both the desktop version and the mobile version and run it on the mobile version. So what they're doing is they're really promoting the use with probably bigger, wider tablets. So from my perspective, I used to be a big Apple fanboy. And if you've been watching, in my case, the internet privacy guy, Rob Braxman, he's saying that Apple's nothing but a surveillance machine, which is true. So I'm pretty well moving off of all the Apple stuff I used to have and going into Android. Just being on Android, well, the D Google Android is much better. But my point is with the mobile app being on a large tablet, it's going to be a really awesome experience because you'll be able to take that with you on the go and be able to still kind of mimic what you got in a desktop version of let's say MotoWave and actually do it on your tablet, on a big tablet. That's a huge advantage. Not only that, but from my perspective, I do see as I get more sophisticated in both MotoWave for all my asset classes I'm trading, like as I said, US listed stocks, be it crypto and somewhat Forex. Uh, I'll be able to move that into the cloud on the Vulture I've shown about a year ago on a Windows server, have that on the cloud, and then have this on the go as well with the mobile app. And it's all one solution. So that's going to be a really nice um, future to look forward to once this rolls out. Now, it's all fine and good. And I really think, in my mind, I've done a lot of comparisons with MotoWave. I still think it's one of the top-notch trading platforms out there. And as I said earlier, when this thing goes mobile, it's going to really not just put them at the front of the line in terms of top end platforms, it's really going to revolutionize your way of trading on the go from what I'm seeing how they're doing it, which is quite unique. Now, as I said, they're going to be releasing this over the next few weeks into the app stores. And that's pretty exciting in itself. But what we got to realize is we got to temper our expectation. This is not like a large company like Apple or Microsoft or Google where they have a ton of coders working on this thing and rolling it out with zero bugs day one. That's not going to happen. They're, like I said, they're a small outfit. And I don't know what their intentions are on there, but from what I know, they're fairly small and they're gonna have a lot of bugs with this thing. But give it, I would say, 6 months to a year. They should be able to iron out all of this. And if you're willing to stick with MotoWave, I think you'll be pretty happy with that. A lot of people have been complaining about the lack of support. Again, they're just overwhelmed, I think, and they're really trying to really make it happen. And I think they will over time if you're willing to stick it out. In my case, what I've done with a lot of my strategies, I don't go complicated, okay? If you were on my 4.5 hour webinar on Monday night, what you'll know about me is for 10 years, I could sit here and say I've done analysis by paralysis by looking at stuff, playing with stuff, typical engineer way of looking at things. Oh, this could be better. And then you dump it and move on to the next shiny toy. And you're not really trading. So now that we're live trading, the key here is that what you want to do is to simplify your life. So all my strategies are really simple. They're not complicated whatsoever. And as long as you truly stick to that for live trading, forget everything else, your back testing and whatever else. If you stick to your live trading and keep it very simple, uh, MotiveWave will do what you want it to do. Okay, you will not have the complexities of what some people, from what I'm seeing, they're trying to do. We're talking about the future traders, probably the option traders as well. And that's fine and good for them, but it's just I don't know, man. It just when a wheel falls off, all the wheels fall off. You know what I mean? So you don't want to go down that path. So for me, we've had an amazing January, both in crypto and U.S. stock. Been very strong. December was a complete opposite. But in terms of moving forward, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities still. But sticking it out with MotoWave is definitely a way to do it. And I would suggest the same. Have a lot of patience with it, because within probably 6 months to a year, I think you'll be happy you did that. All right, so let's talk about the trading now. As I said, we've had a pretty strong January. Um, in terms, I'm waiting it out right now with the Fed announcing in the next half hour. I think they'll raise rates by a quarter. That will probably kill off a lot of trading, but from what I've been doing and really filtering down out of 2,000 stocks down to 500 stocks, down to 100 stocks, lowering your volatility, I'm able to prove to even experienced traders that I can find alpha. I can find alpha in certain stocks and they end up being in alpha because when you take out the volatility, boy, oh boy, I mean, you're going to take out a lot of the more exciting, I call them poppy stocks that will go up 20%. And then, like Lucid's a great example. And they'll probably drop back another 20%, go back on its merry way, reverting to the mean, as they call it. And you'll lose a lot of money trading like that. So I'm looking for stocks that have very low volatility. And they're out there. I do only those stocks. I can also, it used to be under $30 stocks and then 50, but now I'm seeing there's some really good opportunity in stocks that are under 80, really strong performance. And the other thing I want people to understand is from my Monday webinar, basically the topic was why I like USA stocks. And I should say I like USA listed stocks. So you'll hear a lot of the investor, traders, analysts, all that say, well, there's probably going to be better exposure in emerging markets in other places like lately South America, as an example. Those same companies will be listed on the U.S. exchanges, and you will still get exposed to those. You will also get exposed to those where they're, in this case, if you're into mining companies, there's lots of those out there. Same with some of the consumer product stocks as well, and uh, you won't miss them. And but stick with the low volatility ones. Like Tesla's a great example. I mean, Tesla long term probably is a good investment, but it's still fairly volatile. People don't know this. And if you want to sleep at night, and if you're in your 50s like me and not end up in a hospital from a heart attack, stick with a low volatility ones. I mean, they do prove to generate your alpha. And when I say alpha for any of the newbies out there, what I'm referring to is if you have a standard benchmark of metric in the markets, which is S&P 500 or the SPY ETF, those are standard benchmarks. If you're able to generate stocks that beat S&P 500, which shouldn't be really hard, but a lot of the analysts, financial analysts, or so-called professional portfolio advisors and allocators, they're getting crushed a lot. I don't know why they're not able to beat the markets, especially for last year, 2022. But it can't be done. And if you watch the lower volatile stocks, there's some really good name brands. A good one, I can give you two actually. Under Armour, you know about them. TripAdvisor, another. I did a analysis on that. So there's those kind of companies that are low volatile and doing fairly well. So keep that in mind, okay? And just finding them is a problem. So that's where we're at. We're still pumping out for both uh, MotiveWave, as I said, for both crypto and U.S. listed stocks on Interactive Brokers is the choice of brokers. Not my favorite, but in Canada, that's all we have really. Anyhow, okay, so let's talk about crypto. I just don't want to make separate um, podcasts here. I'm kind of lazy. Well, not lazy, just trying to maximize my productivity here. All right, so crypto. Now, as you know, January's been a really strong month for Bitcoin and the general space. Here's my take on crypto. Crypto, if you're trying to do what I have been doing, and I was doing really good at it, I was up about 15% in a week. And if you leave your positions on when you shouldn't, you'll get back that profit in no time. And that's happened to me. And if you leave your positions on for really small coins, a good example, Algorand. What else was there that just went against me so fast? And you will lose money if you're not watching your open positions properly. And this is my dilemma with crypto. Okay. Because it's kind of like a casino. There are coins, small coins that do, altcoins that do perform, but they don't last long. As opposed to if I was to show you some of the stocks, again, Under Armour, TripAdvisor, they're predictively moving up, and there's a predictive reason why they move up. And the more important thing, what I said in my webinar on Monday, was when you look at the price line, the price action of any particular stocks. A good example is take a look at Lucid. That thing was just going up in the moon. But if you even just look at a January chart, hourly or 4 hour, 2 hour, 6 hour, whatever you want, you'll see the choppiness you'll see in that price. You'll see the trend. The problem is if you put on an open position, depending upon your time frame, but if you're doing it 2 6 hour and you have those kind of quick drawdowns or whiplashes, it will take you out fast because your exit will happen if you're using automation, depending obviously the kind of strategy you're using. So the only way to circumvent that is to use, let's say, a daily chart where there's less noise, less choppiness. But it's dangerous there as well. If you look at uh, crypto as an example, taking that same logic, and you left the chart open on a daily, on a really volatile coin, it could take a long time for your strategy to see that it's falling. It's not updated as much. So you have to find that balance between uh, what time frame to use for crypto, especially for the altcoins. And I mean, it's easy to say, yes, Bitcoin's moving up and da 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 da. That's an investment. You just invest and you leave it alone, set, forget, as they say. Uh, you can't do that with small altcoins, but you can do that with uh, U.S. stocks if you find a low volatile and it's predictable and it's moving up. All you got to do is look for those stocks that are giving you strong performance for over a certain period of time. In my case, SMA, simple moving average, 20, 50, and 200 working days. And you see it's still performing and giving you decent, hopefully double digit returns over those time frames, you stick with those and they're low volatility. And the thing is, most likely that stock will not go against you unless there's a major calamity in the markets. But that will affect everything. A time when not to do this, like right now, is what the Fed is going to do, right? If there's a call where they're going to raise interest rates, yeah, it's going to disrupt negatively, most likely, the stock markets for a day, 2 days. That's why we're not actively trading. And the sad part about it is it affects crypto as well. That was the whole point of crypto, where it was not going to be affected by what the Fed or what the government does. But here we are, where there is a correlation between, let's say, Bitcoin and the markets, um, or what the government does, the Federal Reserve or the U.S. dollar. Um, so there is that. So that's where we're at. I will report back as soon as I can on things. People have asked me what's my outlook for February. Depending upon what the Fed does today, and I do believe it will be a quarter point. Actually, I'll know in 20 minutes, so I could keep blabbing, but I'm not going to do that. But if they do that, what will happen? It won't kill the stock market. It won't kill the U.S. Well, the U.S. economy is pretty well. It's the national debt that's killing the U.S. economy, and the bozos that are supposed to take care of that. That's the problem. But as for the stock market itself, I think there's such enough proven this month in January, proven enough there's enough momentum and strength in the markets to keep that sustainable. So I will say, yes, I do think the markets will be fine. Uh, will they be strong? Hard to say, but January has been a pretty good month. If you're doing what I'm doing, you'd probably be able to beat the market with the smaller, as I said, higher, faster, higher returns, low volatility. That's what you need to look for. So it'll do well. I mean, and a good example of that is 2020, when the global sickness came upon us, and they were locking down everything. Even mice in the walls weren't allowed out, and everything got killed. I mean, they had to, what was it, 6, 7 trillion dollars they had to pump into the U.S. market or U.S. economy to keep it afloat, and everything got shut down except one, the U.S. markets. They still kept pumping along and weren't really affected. So that will still continue. The momentum's there. It's proven. I don't worry about the U.S. markets. In terms of the crypto, I think crypto will do well. Where crypto will really kick in is when they start bringing out these evil CBDCs, the central bank digital coins. That's when crypto will build its utility worldwide, where people will want to get onto an alternative and not be controlled and tracked by the government or threatened to be taken out of the financial system. So Bitcoin and the like of crypto will be very, very valuable in my mind. A good example of that is I just read that Lebanon, they devalue their currency by 90%. So what are people supposed to do that live in that country? Well, they say enter Bitcoin. And that can be said also for the likes of Venezuela and other hard-hitted, hard-hit countries. El Salvador, take a look at what they're doing down there, or some of the African countries as well. So the old slave masters of the world, be it from, who I'm talking about, out of the Davos crowd and Bilderberger crowd, they don't like it because they lose control. So that's where crypto is going to be very valuable. Should take a look at the guidance of what Coinbase is putting out. That's a good hint right there. Anyways, I'm going to shut up. I've talked about all over the place because I felt like it, but mostly if you are into MotiveWave, check it out. Get excited by their upcoming mobile app. It's a really strong future with that thing. And as I always say, if you're into this, what I would recommend you do, go over to quantlabs.net/books. Get on my email list. I'm constantly emailing out. I got something I should tell you there too, but get on that email list, quantlabs.net/books. And what you can do from there is it will send you a PDF of all the tools I use for stock screening, open source solution, really good, and a spreadsheet utility added for Excel that's very powerful as well. I didn't make them, but there's just hints that can be very valuable. Okay, so let me talk to you about what we're doing. I had a comment for somebody wanting me to do something on YouTube, a video redo and a topic or newer video of the same topic. That's not my point here. For those that don't know, YouTube is, as I said, is like applying for a mortgage. Okay, they want you to commit your next born to be named uh, that they can take ownership on your next newborn. It feels like that. YouTube is such a waste now to get videos posted on YouTube, to get 10 people watching it. And I don't know if it's censorship or whatever it is. It's just right now, it's not worth it. People are doing well on YouTube. Good for them, but it's a lot of work. And there's a lot of guessing work in there as well. Same with the likes of Facebook. I'm getting a little traction with Instagram, oddly enough. So I can't really slag Instagram of all places. I'm actually getting links and actual opt-ins from that. So, but the podcasting's doing amazing. And when I say podcast, I'm referring to you put on my case podbean.com, and then that gets distributed to all of the podcasting networks. Obviously, we're talking uh, Apple, we're talking Amazon's got one, Google's got one, and a bunch of other like Castanet or something like that. And people are plugging into those, and I'm seeing the traction. Thank you for joining. If you're coming through that and you're still here. Anyways, regarding that, that's where I'm putting my effort in now. It's just easy to post and actually get some downloads from that. Maybe 100 over a couple of weeks, which I barely get with YouTube. When I have over 10,000 followers on YouTube, right now I'd be pulling out my double fingers to Google and YouTube. Ugh. Um, people are losing out on that. And then there's the sites like Rumble and even Odyssey is being going to come become a threat to YouTube. But whatever. It's that arrogance that will really destroy companies. But anyways, regarding Google now, I've also done the stats. When I did this 10 plus years ago, even beyond that, really Facebook was just an afterthought. It really didn't mean anything when you're on Facebook. So at that time when I was so-called blowing up on YouTube and Google, I was really focusing on SEO. The search engine optimization was the savior where I really grew. I've just done a lot of analysis. This might help out some small businesses out there. But if you look at your stats and where your website traffic's coming in from, in my case, across two websites, and in the last 3 months, 60% of it's coming in from Google search, SEO, search engine optimization. 10% coming in roughly from YouTube, because I've got over a few thousand videos there on YouTube. So it's still somewhat significant. And then that leaves us with 30% of traffic coming in from the rest. And my point is there with that rest of the traffic not worth really building up. So what I'm saying is I'll be putting out better articles on Google for Google, specifically Google search. And that's more of a higher SEO focus. And maybe the odd video podcast may get distributed on YouTube, the ones I'm doing here. And that's it. And yeah, that's where I feel I'm going to continue and focus on instead of social media, even YouTube. It's just become literally, in a pathetic way to say, a waste of my time, even using it. But just posting on it, it's a real waste of time. I'm just getting better reach on the podcasts and the SEO. I'm already getting some positive response from the Google bots. So that's what we're doing. And where does that impact you? Well, I'll be doing over the next, well, actually it starts tonight. I'll be doing uh, basically what we call audits on the website. So you got to remember, I've been blogging for uh, maybe 10, 12 years on the quantlabs.net/blog. There's a lot of content on there that Google don't like anymore. So I have to, over time, remove it. That's why we're doing an audit. For those that may want to know, I'm using a tool called SEM Rush. I will take care of that and it will purge, or I will be able to purge a lot of the content that SEM Rush flags. And that's another way of saying Google don't like it, get rid of it. So I'm going to do that. And as a result, I'm hoping to get Google bots to start crawling my better posts on both sites. Just so you know, if you don't know, I have quantlabs.net and then the blogs where most of the content goes, quantlabs.net/blog. And then I also have a newer domain trying to circumvent this a year ago and it doesn't work, called quant-labs.net. So that one's going to get audited as well. And those are the two domains I'm talking about, and I'm estimating anywhere between 80 to 90% of the content on those sites will be removed. I won't be doing anything to YouTube because I really don't care about YouTube anymore. I think YouTube's still useful to watch stuff on. Um, but as it stands, that's what we're doing. So just giving you my diatribes of my life for now. Well, half an hour. I think this is the longest podcast yet, and now you know why. First 10 minutes of MotiveWave, everything else about blah 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 blah. Things falling out of my brain. Again, I'm just gonna stop here now. Quantlabs.net/books. And that again, you'll get those tools via the PDF. And again, the real ulterior motive is there's gonna be two things I'll be pushing out on my email list. And that is first, MotiveWave. We've got a 20 plus hour set of video content to really learn the ins and outs of MotiveWave. I'm also going to probably do a live workshop on how to go from a higher level, a simpler way to build out a simpler automated trading system and how to do that. Uh, Plus, the other big thing I'll be pushing out after this workshop will be the data I provide to give you the stock picks. Right now, I've just filtered it down to 224 as of today. It'll be filtered down even more to give you which stocks are really worth looking at and focusing on to give you your alpha. And that's what we want. Alpha, beating the stock market, beating the S&P 500, beating the SPY. That's how we build wealth. All right, I'm going to shut up now and again. One last time, quantlabs.net/books, quantlabs.net/books. Get on the email list with all the stuff I mentioned, and you'll be able to, if you are interested in, to learn about what I'm going to push out, namely this workshop to help people use a tool like MotiveWave. And eventually you'll be able to, when I say this, trade on the beach, have the beach lifestyle, and have these strategies that we've got to automate the right time and the right stocks to pick to help build wealth. I do think the stock market's going to go up, not a lot. And even if it does, there's still, as they always say, there's always a bull market somewhere. We'll find them, eat the markets. Over and out. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.